Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on Sri FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kesmi 107.1 FM and across the country at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Elections Committee of the NPP clears all 5 aspirants in the presidential race, inviting them for balloting on Friday, the 10th of October. Also coming up, Ghana Health Service begins nationwide rollout of vaccination against the human papilloma virus for girls aged 9 years and above. We assess the rollout. Much later, Black Stars of Ghana have it all to play for, with a chance to qualify for the 2026 World Cup when they face Central African Republic later this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, the New Patriotic Party has cleared all 5 presidential aspirants to contest in the party's upcoming flag-bearer race. It follows interception of correspondence from the Elections Committee of the party to all contenders, signifying no disqualification and inviting all 5 contenders to take part in the balloting for positions on the ballot paper this Friday. The party is expected to make an official announcement later today. The clearance follows Tuesday's meeting of the National Council in Accra, which reviewed the report of the Presidential Vetting Committee chaired by former Defense Minister Dr. Kwame Adu. Those cleared include Kwabena Eje Japon, Kennedy Ohine Japon, Brian Champon, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and Dr. Yao Osei Educhum. Per the party's timetable, the notice of poll will be published next week Friday, ahead of the National Congress scheduled for the 31st of January next year, with a possible runoff on the 14th of February. Let's speak now to Dr. Samuel Efriye. He's a political analyst. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good afternoon, Beatrice.
We just hearing that the MPP has cleared all 5 aspirants and indeed has invited them for balloting. I guess you're surprised. You are not really surprised at this development, are you?
Exactly, yes, Beatrice. I'm not really surprised because you can't just disqualify anyone looking at the situation in the party now. So I don't think that there's any reasons. And even the number is not up to a certain number that at least it can be scaled down. So I think I'm not surprised, and that is what the party needs to do.
Do you think that people's commentary on what was happening within the party and the seeming favoritism perhaps might have influenced the decision of the committee not to disqualify anybody?
Yes, there are a lot of merit kind of factors that the committee needs to, because the committee also have a strategic role to play to ensure that there's unity and there's peace, and also fairness in the impending elections in 31st January. So they have to consider a whole lot of things before coming up with such a report in order not to disqualify anyone. So even sometimes maybe you have to get in touch with those, even if you want to, somebody has made a mistake or somewhere. I think you have to use closed doors to ratify such problems so that at least you have a fair treatment for each other. So there's a lot of things, because if the party or the committee doesn't take care and they have to go strict to what party rules and regulations without using diplomacy and the kind of relationship that it will create a problem for the party. The party is on a strategic level, that strategic point that they have to be very careful. And I think the committee has really done well to manage the situation.
Having made that point, how significant is Friday's balloting in shaping perceptions of fairness and momentum among the aspirants?
Well, Beatrice, in our political landscape, position counts a lot. And, there are some people who believe in numbers. There are also others who don't believe in numbers. If you can remember, when the 2024 elections, you talk about the position, someone was the first position, someone was at 8, and there were a whole lot of things. Some people can use a lot of ways to communicate to the delegates or voters. But for me, looking at the delegate system and the kind of level of understanding, and also the party knowing whom they have to vote based on their own criteria, I believe numbers might not play a key role in this situation. And the numbers are also not many for you to use other means. So, but some might use it, but I don't think that it will create a lot of difference at the end of the day when the voting is being cast or when they want to elect the flag bearer.
Yes, and at the end of the day, only one will emerge, the flag bearer of the party. How would you expect the party to ensure or maintain cohesion after this, ahead of the January Congress?
The committee need to ensure that they talk to the leaders of these presidential candidates. I think that the leader of the committee or the chairman of the committee is one of the respectable and well-revered kind of party senior member as well. So I think when such people, when they talk to them, they listen. And I think that the chairman should use that opportunity to let them know the critical role of each of them, what they have to play, and also advising their followers as well. I believe that if they continue in this direction and the chairman, as per his pedigree, I think they can make a difference so that they will calm nerves down and also unify the party. And because of late, we heard some few comments by their followers, and I think it was distasteful and at the same time doesn't augur well for the party in terms of their unity in the impending elections in future. And I think they have to manage their situation very well.
And none of the 5 aspirants so far, as we see, is a stranger to delegate. What do you think will be the factors that would influence who they will eventually vote for to represent the party for the 2028 general election?
Beatrice, the situation that the MPP finds itself is serious because, one, internally, they have to look at someone who will rejuvenate the party. And at the same time, they also have to pick someone who is marketable, who can be presented to Ghanaians for them. At the same time, there's a kind of perception or there's an intent that they can also reclaim or they can also at least get power from the NDC since our President Mahama is not going for another term and they will bring in a different candidate. So there's a kind of hope from the MPP side that they think that if they're able to work themselves well and put their cards well, they can claim power from the NDC. And that is what is the motivation. So they need someone who is marketable. They need someone who can outweigh whoever that comes on after President Mahama leaving. And so these are factors that will be considered a lot. And in our history of politics, there's a kind of continuity, whether within the party and also outside the party, that is the general election. You can date back with all those presidential candidates or the president that has come, that has been in the position of this country, that they come in and try again. They come in and try again. So there's that kind of perception. And I think that they will look at outside of the party, and they also look at within the party who can unite them, who can make sure that they can get the votes, who can activate. Because seriously, the 2024 election has affected the MPP party internally, and I believe that they will change all those who they think that led to the loss. So after this, they will come back to the original that is the original level executive. They will come to the constituency and all police stations. So it's something that they need a leader that can change the face of the MPP, at the same time can also be relevant to Ghanaians when they present it to Ghanaians for elections.
Thank you so much, Dr. Free, for speaking to us.
My pleasure, Beatrice.
And you had Dr. Samuel Efriye. He's a political analyst. So let's bring you some more on these individuals who have been cleared by this vetting committee to participate in the party's congress ahead of the 2028 general election. We start with Engineer Kwabena Ejie-Japon, who is a former general secretary of the NPP. He was elected in April 2014 and he was suspended in 2015. Well, he also served as press secretary and presidential spokesperson to former President John Ejekum Kufuor between the years of 2000 and 2006. Now, Kennedy Ohinie-Japon, he is a former member of parliament for Asin Central until he decided to step down to participate in the presidential race. He had held that seat for quite some time. There's also Dr. Brian Echampong, who is former Minister for Food and Agriculture. He was appointed in February 2023 and is currently a member of parliament, the member of parliament for Abetifi. Of course, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is a former vice president of Ghana, who served with the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo from the time he was elected in 2017 to December 2024. And you can trust that we'll bring you all the latest that you need to know right here on your election command center. Of course, the last but not the least, we also do have Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum, a former Minister for Education from 2021 to 2024, and also Deputy Education Minister in the first administration of former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo between 2017 and 2021. Now, beginning today, Ghana is introducing the human papilloma virus HPV vaccine into its national immunization program to protect girls aged 9 to 14 years from cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is one of the leading causes of cancer-related deaths among women in the country. The nationwide exercise, which will start with the 5-day campaign, marks a major milestone in Ghana's fight against cervical cancer through prevention. Let's take you around the regions and find out how the rollout is panning out today. Faisal Idrisu is in the Volta region. He joins us live now. Faisal, if you can talk to us about how the exercise has been since morning.
Yes, the exercise has begun in the region. In the Volta region, the Ghana Health Service is targeting 115,025 children between the ages of 9 to 14. I was at some of the schools in Ketusab this morning where they had already begun the administration of the vaccine on the school children. In the Ketusab municipality, they are targeting 17,998, and so it has already begun across the schools. The only concern that has been raised in some of the schools I visited is that some parents are directing that their children are excluded. I went to one particular school where I was told that at least 10 children have been excluded because their parents say they should not take the vaccine. The officials of the Ghana Health Service here in the Ketusab municipality have since picked up this information and are following up to ensure that all these children are able to take the vaccine before the exercise ends on the 11th day of this month. We can take a listen to some of the concerns raised by the teachers with regards to these very directives from some of the parents.
We have, as a municipality, a target population of 17,998. It's actually touching on both out of school and in school. Before today being the day of commencement of the program, there were some prior activities before today. We did a lot of engagement with key stakeholders, talking about the chiefs, leadership from the various schools, religious leaders, and what have you. The logistics with regards to the programs were all received yesterday, and the teams were deployed this morning. Currently that we are speaking, they are on the field working, and everything is going on smoothly.
And you had some of the representatives ensuring the exercise regarding the vaccination of the HPV vaccine is rolled out perfectly. And you're still here on the Middays on 3FM and 92.7. Some 15 minutes past the hour of 12. When we come back, we'll bring you more regarding this vaccination exercise against cervical cancer. Hello! And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Thank you for staying. The Health Facilities Regulatory Agency has shut down 12 unlisted health facilities in the Greater Accra region for various infractions. The Medline Medical Lab, Dent Smile Clinic, Covenant Clinic, Oku Adi Memorial Clinic, Advanced Diagnostic Center, among others. The exercise undertaken within 2 days, according to the CEO, Dr. Winfred Barr, is to rid the system of quack practitioners whose actions may be harmful to the general public.
Recently, we've noticed that a lot of facilities are operating either without license or some with expired licenses. And this is against the law. Those who have not renewed their licenses, we gave them what we call administrative fines and gave them within 2 weeks to regularize their operations. Some of them did. They paid their administrative fines and they initially registered. We did licensing for them and they are okay. A few of the facilities have been very recalcitrant and they have not paid their administrative fines. They have also not taken steps to get a license. Once your facility is not licensed, we are not sure of what is going on there. We don't know whether you have the right personnel, equipment, and the processes to provide care to patients who enter your facility. Once that happens, it means that we have to come and then close it down. The Health Facilities Regulatory Agency is undergoing what we call a reset. We want to position ourselves to do what we have been set up to do and to protect the public against dangerous practices.
And you have the Chief Executive Officer of the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, Dr. Winfred Barr. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, has for the second time in 2 days launched a major crackdown on illegal mining activities along the Ankoba River in the Nzema East Municipality of the Western Region. This latest operation, carried out on Tuesday, the 7th of October 2025, follows a similar raid on Monday at Abuso in the Prisia Honi Valley District area, an area long plagued by illegal mining, drug dealing and gambling. Heavily armed NIMOS task force members stormed the mining site, dismantling makeshift shanties and confiscating equipment used in the illicit operations. During the operation, the team seized and destroyed the following items: 1 excavator, 100 makeshift structures, they set them ablaze, 7 chamfans, floating dredging machines, 88 water pumping machines, 3 gas cylinders, 3 shovels, 4 plastic chairs, 2 water hoses, 1 DSTV dish, 1 generator set, 1 pickaxe. Now, the crackdown comes just days after NIMOS officials, during the president's engagement with civil society organizations, vowed to intensify their fight against illegal mining and warned of the severe consequences of engaging in such destructive activities. Government has in recent times come under pressure to act decisively as the environmental devastation caused by Galamsey continues to threaten the nation's water bodies and farmlands. Now, residents of Wunaro in the Techima North District once again stranded as the community access road was submerged following just an hour of rain. As the forecast predicts more downpours, the community is raising serious questions about their survival, accusing both political parties of neglecting their plight. Belinda Tete is on the ground with some more. She joins us live now on the phone. Belinda, if you can tell us what exactly the situation of the road is and how this is impacting the lives of residents.
Right. So the road situation is actually a terrible one. And everyone take note, this situation has persisted for close to 10 years. And subsequent political parties have used it as a yardstick for their campaigns in and out. But then residents are really not seeing any improvements or any commitment to actually fix the road. Now, the recent rains that have started, yesterday it rained about an hour, and right after the rains, residents can actually not cross to and from their houses because the whole road has been submerged with floods. And so those who even are able to cross are actually finding it really difficult because they have to walk in the water. No cars are not going. The tricycles that mostly ply the roads have decided not to go because of the level of floods they've experienced. And so it's actually a menace for them. And we are really not hearing much from the DCEs and the NADMO director because, and it's actually a worry because we are presuming, or the weather is presuming that more rains will come in the subsequent days. And so if that is going to be the situation, are we actually going to wait for the worst to happen before action could be taken? So then it's actually a problem for residents. They are calling for urgent actions to fix the road permanently so that their livelihoods could improve.
So in the meantime, is there any alternative for them so that they are not completely stranded throughout?
There is no other alternative. That is the only major road that links the town, the main town, from the community, because the community is a bit isolated. And so that's the only road that links the town to the community. And so it's really a challenge for them.
What are authorities saying regarding how soon they intend to fix the problem?
We are really not hearing much from authorities. And let's take on note that this very road is between Techiman South and Techiman North. And so the road is in between how part of the road is Techiman South and how part of the road is Techiman North. So then they are actually in between the two constituencies. And both of the MPs are not really ready to commit to fix the road because then no one is ready to take the responsibility upon themselves to fix it. This is in between. And for them to come together to also make it a point to fix it together is also a challenge. And so then residents are really torn because they don't know how soon this will be fixed. And they also do not know if it's ever going to be fixed. So then it's really a menace for them.
Thank you very much, Belinda Tete. She is our correspondent in Techiman in the Bono East region. The Member of Parliament for Ketu North, Eric Edem Agbana, has dispelled views that Parliament has been suspended indefinitely because of financial issues. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babwin, announced the indefinite postponement of the commencement of the third meeting of the first session of the 9th Parliament of the Fourth Republic. The communication did not specify the nature of the circumstances prompting the decision, but assured that a new date for resumption will be announced in due course. The deferral means that parliamentary activities expected to resume this month following the recess will remain on hold. Now, speaking on TV3's New Day earlier today, the Member of Parliament for Ketu North, Mr. Agbana, said the House will reconvene soon.
Adjourned indefinitely. I believe that there is no challenge with that. Because when we are going on recess, the House is adjourned indefinitely until the Speaker calls. So if, for whatever reason, Speaker and the leadership of Parliament decides that we will no more resume on the 14th, but to another date, I don't think that there is any challenge. He is somebody I know who loves this country so much that he will never deliberately engage in any act that will stifle the governance of this country. I believe in the wisdom of the Speaker, and at any point that the Speaker believes that the House must resume sitting, we as his faithful, loyal parliamentarians and his soldiers will follow suit and then resume. I do not think, I stand to be correct, I do not think that there is any urgent government business that demands the House to be recalled today. In case of anything as such, Parliament can always be recalled, even out of recess. We can be called that tomorrow we should come before the House, or we should come to the House to address a particular issue and maybe even go on recess. The MPP and their allies, like Dr. Zato, should stop all this, the propaganda and trying to find reasons when there is none. Some of them, I mean, are saying that it's because the House doesn't have money and other things. I've seen all sorts of write-ups and the things that they have said. None of that is true. Before the year, or we went on recess, whatever budget they approved for Parliament and all of that, Parliament was working effectively. And Roland, in conclusion, what happens at the plenary is only an aspect of parliamentary proceedings.
Okay.
All parliamentary committees are sitting. Only even last week, the Energy Committee, they were in Akosombo and other places. And all the other committees that I know are actively working. And so Parliament really is not even on holidays. Anytime Mr. Speaker calls us, we will respond.
And you have Eric Adam Agbana. He's a member of parliament for Ketu North in the Volta region. Now, the Ghana Black Stars are just one win away from securing a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The team faces the Central African Republic later this afternoon at 4 p.m. in Morocco, 4 p.m. Ghana time. Now, Ghana tops Group 1 with a 3-point lead, and victory will seal qualification. Coach Otado's men have dropped only 5 points in the qualifiers, losing to Comoros and drawing with Chad. The opponent, Central African Republic, sit 5th with just 5 points and are already out of contention. The Black Stars are aiming for their 5th World Cup appearance, having missed only the 2018 edition. Otado is expected to have a full 23-man squad available for the game after final training in Casablanca. And that's it for the news, the midday news here on 3FM and 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Log on to 3news.com for more news.
It has always been a journey of Pan-Africanism.
to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Ausa. Coming up this afternoon, World Bank revises Ghana's 2025 growth forecast upward to 4.3% as it cites strong services sector and city stability. Also ahead, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama urges banks to comply with local regulations listed on Ghana Stock Exchange to boost stability, transparency, and long-term growth.
We had a good meeting with the Ghana Stock Exchange. A couple of banks have given us positive signals about their readiness to start this process towards listing.
Plus, Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, raises red flag over high utility tariffs as it warns Ghana risks losing competitiveness under AFCFTA as rising electricity and water costs cripple production and investment.
Does not make us competitive at all. We all realize that we are doing the after continental free trade area, and Ghana is lagging behind.
We will bring you details of our headline stories and other stories shortly. Please stay. Thanks for your company. Now to the details. The World Bank has raised Ghana's 2025 economic growth forecast to 4.3%, up from its earlier projection of 3.9% on the back of strong performance in the services sector and renewed investor confidence. The upward revision contained in the October 2025 edition of the Africa's Pulse report released in Washington, D.C., places the bank's outlook slightly above the government's own 4.4% target for the year. The following 3 Business News Desk report has the details. The World Bank is projecting a brighter outlook for Ghana's economy, forecasting a 4.3% growth rate by the end of 2025. That's an upward revision from its previous estimate of 3.9%. and slightly above government's 4.4% growth target in the 2025 budget. According to the latest Africa's Pulse report released in Washington, Ghana's growth prospects are being driven by a robust services sector, which expanded by 9.9% in the second quarter of the year. The bank expects further growth of 4.6% in 2026 and 4.8% in 2027. It also projects inflation to end 2025 at 15.4%, although the Bank of Ghana maintains that inflation will fall to single digits by year end. The report highlights the cedi's strong performance, appreciating over 20% in the first 8 months of 2025, supported by tighter fiscal discipline, higher export earnings, and improved market confidence after Ghana's debt restructuring. It also confirms that Ghana has exited the debt distress category, but warns of refinancing risks, including a $500 million Eurobond maturing next year. Meanwhile, business confidence continues to strengthen, with the Purchasing Managers Index rising to 50.8 in August, signaling steady job creation and improved operating conditions. And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on the World Bank revising Ghana's 2025 growth forecast upward to 4.3%, citing strong services sector and steady stability. Moving on, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, is urging commercial banks to strictly adhere to domestic regulatory provisions and take active steps toward listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange. He believes these measures will help strengthen the country's financial system, deepen transparency, and promote long-term growth in the banking sector. Speaking at a post-monetary policy committee engagement with heads of banks in Accra, Dr. Isiama said consolidating recent macroeconomic gains requires joint efforts between the central bank and the banking industry. He also encouraged banks to use local insurance companies for import coverage to help reduce foreign exchange leakages and improve liquidity in the domestic market.
I want to urge banks to adhere to domestic regulatory provisions. I want to emphasize that please adhere to our regulatory provisions. We also expect banks to take active steps toward public listing. And this is a new one that we are discussing. We had a good meeting with the Ghana Stock Exchange this morning. A couple of banks have given us positive signals about their readiness to start this process towards listing. This will enhance capital strength, this will enhance transparency, and this will promote long-term growth prospects. The return to single-digit inflation is here, and it marks a new chapter in our economic recovery. But it is not the end of the story at all. Our collective responsibility now is to sustain this discipline. We have to strengthen the financial system further, and we have to ensure that stability translates into jobs.
And that was Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. This is still Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck. Also moving on to some other stories. The Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, has expressed concern that Ghana's current utility tariff regime is eroding the country's competitiveness under the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. According to the association, the high cost of electricity and water is driving up production and operational expenses, inflating the prices of goods and services, and discouraging both local and foreign investment. Addressing the media, GUTA President Joseph Obin urged government to urgently review recent tariff hikes to provide relief for businesses and help restore Ghana's competitiveness in regional trade.
Does not make us competitive. At all. We all realize that we are doing the African Continental Free Trade Area, and Ghana is lagging behind. We are not competitive. Our goods cannot even be sold at Togo. It doesn't go beyond the other member states. Why? Because of high cost of doing business here, especially in regards with utility charges. It does not help us. And we should know, the earlier we know that set these issues and put it in proper context, we are not going to industrialize, or the 24-hour economy that we want to propagate will just be in a mess. It won't work.
And that was President of the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, Joseph Obin. Before we go, the Ghana Statistical Service has revealed that it will begin the production of regional and district economic growth figures in 2026. This is expected to commence after the completion of the rebasing, which typically recalibrates and incorporates new economic structures and data for efficient modeling of key economic indicators such as the gross domestic product (GDP), inflation, and others. Addressing concerns of the unavailability of sector-specific data sets, government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu said the service is working on reforms, including the amendments of the Statistical Service Act 2019, Act 1003, to improve Ghana's data sets. And that brings us to the end of the Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. Thanks for your company.